value? This is sort of obvious. No sales guy would want that the actual value of the contract that he has with you reduces. Using benchmarking, you can actually keep the value of your contract same, but take a lot more of the good to have things that you left on the table because the budget was not there. So a lot of the times we see companies that use benchmarking reduce the overall cost of what they were actually paying and use the savings to get a lot of the additional stuff which they were not able to procure earlier. Second is from a cost perspective. This is the most obvious and the most important one. Can you use benchmarking to have a much more value-driven discussion with your vendor partners, where you're actually giving them evidence of the discounting and the value that you want for your investments. Why are you asking for it? And the final is time. Now, the time is an important element. You heard Stephen when he was going through DevOps. You heard Mike when he's doing enterprise agility, and Serge who's doing enterprise architecture. One of the key things that we keep seeing businesses asking us is agility and speed. So let's really think about a standard procurement process. An average standard procurement process that we see in the industry is business will come up with a requirement, IT will create an RFP, business will okay it, you will reach out to 3 to 5 vendors, they would take between 3 to 5 or 3 to 6 weeks, depending on the complexity of the deal, to submit their responses. You would go through an evaluation process. Each vendor would have questions, objections, different models, but why not this, but have you thought about that? Once you finally actually select one on the basis of the different criteria that you have, then you go into a negotiation phase, and only after this you actually get into the implementation challenges. Now, what if we were to flip this over? What if you were to work with a partner who was able to tell you that for this requirement, here are the key business value objectives that you need to consider. Here are the key vendors that you need to consider. This is the optimal license structure and implementation structure that you need to consider. And most importantly, here's the final dollar value that you need to close your contract at. This is the best in class deal. If you had all of this information right at the beginning, before you even rolled out the RFP, how much difference would it make in the overall procurement process? How many of the requirements would you reduce? How much time would you save? And how much faster would you actually go through the procurement cycle into the actual implementation phase, which is where the value is what the business sees?